My friend, listen carefully. We are standing at the edge of a prophetic moment. The world you see right now is not the world you will see in July of 2025. Everything is shifting, nations are trembling, economies are shaking, and people are searching for meaning in the emptiness of their own lives. And here's the truth. You cannot afford to live blind in this hour. Young men, this is especially for you. You've been told that your worth is in how many girls you can get, how much money you can make, how powerful you can look. But deep down, you know it's not enough. You feel the emptiness when the night is quiet. You feel the loneliness when the noise fades. That emptiness is not weakness, it's a prophetic warning. God allows the shaking so that what is eternal will remain. July 2025 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a season of convergence, where hidden things will come into light, and the choices you make will define the course of your destiny. Will you wake up, or will you keep chasing distractions until it's too late? This message is not about fear. It's about awakening. It's about understanding that your life has meaning in this prophetic timeline, and if you choose right, everything in your future changes. Here's the truth. You already feel the countdown inside of you. You might not call it prophecy. You might not call it a warning, but you feel it. That tug inside your chest when you know the life you're living isn't the life you were created for. That voice that whispers, "There's more to you than this." That's not just your imagination, it's God trying to get your attention. Prophecy isn't always about headlines or nations. Sometimes the prophecy is in the emptiness of your soul. Sometimes the warning is in your own dissatisfaction. You keep trying to fill the void with dating apps, with scrolling, with chasing validation, with trying to prove to yourself that you're enough. But no matter how hard you try, the feeling remains. Something is missing. Let me tell you why. Because your soul is on a prophetic clock. Every man has a time when God calls him to wake up, and July 2025 is not just a date, it's a mirror. A mirror that says, do you really want to keep living asleep? You've been given strength, vision, purpose. But the world wants to chain you with distractions. And maybe that's why you've been restless. Because deep down, you know God didn't create you just to live for the weekend. He didn't put you on this earth so you could waste your best years numb, chasing validation that leaves you emptier every time. So here's the question. Will you keep hitting snooze on your soul? Or will you finally listen to the alarm that's been going off inside you? Listen, this isn't about religion. This is about awakening. Prophecy is not given to scare you. It's given to prepare you. And if God is shaking things in your life right now, it's because He loves you too much to let you stay asleep. What if September 2025 is the turning point for you? What if this is the season where you stop being ruled by distractions and finally step into the man you were created to be? You don't have to wait for the world to change. You are the one who can change. But it starts with one choice: to stop running, to stop numbing, and to finally wake up. Here's the hard truth. Most young men today are running after something that will never satisfy them. We live in a culture that tells you your worth is measured by how many women you attract, how much money you stack, how flashy your lifestyle looks on Instagram. But when you actually get there, when you swipe right enough times, when you finally have that one weekend of living the dream, you wake up the next morning with a hangover of the soul. Empty, you see, pleasure promises you joy, but it only delivers a moment, and moments vanish. You can't build a life on moments. You can't build your manhood on hookups, followers, or fast money. That's not purpose. That's escape. And listen, pleasure isn't evil. God made beauty, desire, intimacy. But when you chase them without direction, they turn into chains. Every time you run after pleasure without purpose, you end up weaker, not stronger. You start to believe you're not enough unless you prove it to the world again and again. But here's the prophecy in that emptiness. God lets you feel it so you'll know that you were made for more. The hunger you feel isn't a curse, it's a clue. You weren't made to be numbed, you were made to be alive. And you'll never feel alive chasing things that die. So ask yourself, what are you chasing that leaves you emptier every time? What are you giving your best energy to, only to be left with regret? Because here's the truth. Until you stop chasing what doesn't matter, you'll never have the energy to chase what does. Pleasure isn't the problem, misplaced pursuit is. And if you can redirect that pursuit, if you can say, I want more than a moment, I want meaning, that's when everything changes. Look around. The world is not stable. Governments are crumbling. Economies are cracking. Wars are flaring up in places you never thought they would. And yet, you and I are here living in it, pretending it's business as usual. But let me tell you something. The shaking of nations is not random. It's prophetic. When systems collapse, it's not just about politics or money. It's about God showing you that nothing in this world is strong enough to carry your soul. Young men, you need to see this clearly. If you place your identity in the stock market, in your job, in the approval of a system that itself is shaking, you will collapse with it. That's why so many men today are lost. Because when the world shifts under their feet, they realize they never had a foundation. But prophecy says the shaking is not the end, it's the beginning. God shakes what can fall so that what cannot fall will stand. That means if your life is built on what's eternal, you won't collapse with the world, you'll rise above it. This is why September 2025 matters. It's not just about watching the headlines, it's about asking, what's my foundation? Because if the nations are trembling, but your heart is unshaken, people will look at you and say, that's a man I can trust, that's a man who stands. And isn't that what you long for? To be solid, to be unshakable, that's not pride, that's prophecy fulfilled. Here's one of the biggest lies you've been told, that blending in is safety, that if you just fit the mold, follow the trends and keep your head down, life will work out. But deep down, you know it's not true. The more you try to blend in, the more invisible you feel. Prophecy doesn't call men to blend in. It calls them to stand apart. Think about it. Every man you admire, every hero of history, every prophet in the Bible, they weren't praised because they fit in. They were hated, ridiculed, opposed, but they were remembered because they stood apart. And I know what you're thinking, but if I stand apart, I'll be alone. Yes. At first, standing apart will cost you. It will cost you friends who don't understand. It will cost you comfort. But it will give you something greater, identity, purpose, the ability to look in the mirror and actually respect the man you see. Standing apart doesn't mean being arrogant. It means refusing to be enslaved by what everyone else is enslaved by. It means being willing to live by conviction when the world lives by convenience. And here's the truth. The more the world shakes, the more people will look for men who are different. Men who stand, men who are not afraid to walk a narrow road. That's your call. That's your destiny. So stop trying to be accepted by people who are as lost as you feel. Step into the calling that says, you were not made to blend. You were made to shine. Covenant is a word we don't talk about anymore. We live in a throwaway culture. Relationships are disposable. Commitments are temporary. Promises are negotiable. But prophecy reminds us, covenant is power. Think about it. When God makes a covenant, He doesn't break it. When He says He's with you, He doesn't walk out the first time you fail. And yet, So many men today have never experienced loyalty, never given it, never received it. That's why we're so restless. We crave depth, but settle for shallow. But here's the truth. Covenant is not weakness. It's strength. It's what turns boys into men. It's what transforms empty pleasure into lasting intimacy. It's what builds trust that survives storms. You want to be respected. Be a man of covenant. You want to find a love that actually lasts. Be faithful even when it costs you. You want to live a life that people remember. Build it on promises you don't break. And listen, this isn't just about romance. It's about friendships, brotherhood, faith. Covenant means I stand with you even when it's hard. I stay the course even when it costs me. That's what makes you unshakable. The prophetic warning of September 2025 is this: shallow living won't survive the shaking, but men of covenant will. Here's the bottom line. Prophecy always brings you to a choice. It's not just about hearing the warning. It's about deciding how you'll respond. September 2025 is not a date to fear. It's a mirror, a moment to ask yourself, do I want to keep living like this? Do I want to keep numbing myself, blending in, chasing empty things? Or do I want to change? You see, the shaking is going to come either way. But how it impacts you, that's up to your choice. Some men will fall with the world. Others will rise because they chose to build on what's eternal. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan. You just need to make one choice today. One choice to say, I will not waste my life asleep. I will not ignore this warning. I will wake up. Prophecy always gives hope because God never warns without offering a way out. The question is, will you take it? Or will you keep pretending you have more time? The change is coming. But so is your chance, and the choice is in your hands. My friend, the shaking is coming whether you're ready or not, but this doesn't have to end in fear. It can begin in power. God's warning is not His rejection. It's His invitation. So don't ignore it. Don't sleep through it. Answer the call. If this message hit your heart, don't just scroll away. Take action. Like this video if it spoke truth to you. Share it with someone who needs to hear this warning. Leave a comment about the change you're stepping into. And subscribe, because what's coming next, you cannot afford to miss.